My name is Patricia Werhane, and I run the Institute for Business and Professional Ethics at DePaul University. The Institute is supported by the School of Commerce and by the Liberal Arts and Sciences, so it's an interdisciplinary institute. Our original mission was to work within the university to talk through management education and business ethics, and our second initiative was to be outreach with companies in the Chicago area. We have an advisory board made up of corporate officers from around the Chicago area. But then we realized that we looked pretty much just like every other institute. I did a benchmark study of centers and institutes around the country, and frankly, we could have just put our name instead of somebody else's. There are hundreds of these, and very few of them do anything that is different from any other institute. So we decided to do something different. Now, it doesn't mean that we're doing something unique. It's just that we're going to adopt the perspective of DePaul University and Vincent DePaul. So one of our missions is to work on poverty alleviation initiatives. And we do that through teaching. We do that through a number of case studies globally of a number of companies and a number of very small startup companies all around the world that are helping to reduce poverty. One of my favorites is Husk Power, started by an American and an Indian that works in communities in India to provide electricity through a power generating plant that is driven by rice husks. Rice husks are the leftovers after you harvest rice, and apparently cattle won't eat rice husks, human beings won't eat rice husks, and they're just useless. But they're not useless anymore, and they have already provided electricity for 100,000 people in India, and their aim is for 5 million people by 2014. This is, by the way, a for-profit company, and very interesting. So we're working on projects like that, and one of the projects we're working on now is to do a documentary series on what we call the many faces of poverty. We're just finishing a documentary on Bangladesh and on the various poverty-reducing initiatives there, not just microlending, but small cottage industries, fisheries, weaving, silk, making soap, a number of little industries that are bringing thousands and thousands of families out of poverty. We're also doing a set of videos in Michigan in a women's jail and videoing a woman who helps women get out of jail and stay out of jail. And our next project there will be to initiate micro-lending so these women can start their own little businesses. As you probably know, if you've been in jail, nobody wants to hire you. So it's fine to get out of jail, and people say, oh, you should go get a job, but of course no one's going to hire you if you've been in jail, particularly in high unemployment. So we're going to help these women start little cottage industries, kiosks on the street, again, Mary Kay, selling cosmetics door to door, working with the used clothing to help people buy clothes at cheap prices so they can get jobs, and various other little projects, and that's we're really excited about that. We're also doing, with partners with the other Vincentian community on microlending projects in Haiti and on helping rehabilitate their schools, which are, as you can imagine, even worse shape than they were before the earthquake. And we're also working in Chicago with the Interfaith Justice Movement and a group called Arise Chicago. This is a group that works with people who have worked and have not gotten paid for their work. Now, in the old days, we called that slave labor, and I would still call it slave labor. These are people who've done their work and haven't gotten paid. So we're doing a set of videos about this group of people, and we're hoping to attract attention to companies so they realize that this is going on. By the way, this isn't just merely day laborers in construction. Some other rather well-known fast food shops and some other small industries, newspaper distribution, we find that people are not always paid for their work or not always paid for the hours they've worked. So those are some of our initiatives. We're planning some more as soon as we finish these projects. Ongoing thinking about how we can alleviate poverty in our own communities and obviously in international communities as well.